Well, and so it goes, the plans are changed again. We've just learned, well, about an hour ago I guess, learned that the area around the little marina Lippa that we wanted to go into, including the marina of Lippa, is in a military practice area, and there's live shooting today, so we've been told that we can't go in there. Oh, bless. And so now we've decided to go all the way to the start of the Kiel Canal, which will involve nighttime passage, a night passage. We should arrive early hours in the morning. Yeah, so we arrived here at the dock at the entrance to the Kiel Canal, roughly midnight, fractionally after midnight.
Walking in the wrong direction, don't know to where I've been. Encouraged by my inhibitions, blinded by what I've seen. I'm heading back to where I'm going, back to who knows where and when. Through the monsters of my own worst daydreams, on my way to there and then. Still I keep on moving, on the path of no return. Keep on winning as I'm losing, watching my bridges burn, 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 burn.
So some information about the Kiel Canal. I've got this leaflet here that they handily write in English for boaters, and up at the Baltic Sea end there are some big old poster boards with tourist information and things about it. So I've gleaned some info from those. The Kiel Canal runs from the Baltic Sea through to the River Elbe, which is the river that runs down from Hamburg, and actually much further than that obviously, but runs down to the North Sea from Hamburg. So it's a short cut from the Baltic Sea through to the North Sea. If you didn't take that, you'd have to go some 450 kilometres further around the top of Denmark, so it's a very handy thing. And according to the official blurb, it is the world's busiest shipping canal, even busier than Panama and Suez, which is quite an astounding fact, I find. And of course, just like Suez and Panama, you have to pay to go through it, and for us we were in the up to 12 metre category. It cost an enormous €18 for the transit, so you know, it's not too shabby in terms of price, it has to be said. Apparently it was built in, well, they started building it in 1895, finished in 1914, but some of its route follows the route of an old canal called the Eider Canal, the River Eider. We know from Eider Ducks and Eider Down, don't we? But the River Eider comes out a bit further north on the North Sea side of Germany. So there was a canal called the Eider Canal, probably, I guess, through to the Baltic. And some of the route of this Kiel Canal follows that. And the Eider Canal was built 100 years prior to the Kiel Canal, so some of it's 200 years old in terms of route at least. It's 162 metres wide, so they say, but from what we see, its width varies. There are some narrower parts and some wider bits. And 98.6 kilometres long, so that's roughly 50 sea miles, nautical miles, or 60 statute land miles. So it takes you a while to get through it, certainly as a small boat. Now, apparently 9,000 workers were employed digging the thing, and they shifted some 80 million cubic metres of soil that needed shifting. And it includes 10 big bridges, apparently 2 tunnels, which you don't see when you're transiting it, and 14 ferries cross it, and those you do see, they have right of way over pleasure boats, and you have to watch out for those. Yeah, they say roughly 35,000 ships pass through it per year, so which is getting close to 100 a day, isn't it? And that they transport about 100 million tonnes of cargo a year through the thing. So it's, you know, it's a very busy place. And also on top of that, there's another 10,000 in the summer season. They say another 10,000 pleasure boats go through there. That's just the summer. They don't give you figures for the non-summer. So it's a lot of boating going through there, and it's quite an impressive place to go through. Now, Hazel and I have transited it several times. I've done it 3 times. Hazel's been through there 4 times. And every other time we've always done it in 2 goes. I should say that the canal is marked every half a kilometre, starting at the River Elbe end, going through to the Baltic Sea end. So every half kilometre is marked, all the way up to kilometre 98 or whatever. And so normally we make a stop at this little bay with some dolphins, these steel posts. They used to be wood, but now they're steel posts in the ground that you can tie up to, at kilometre 21. But this time we wanted to take a bit longer over it, take it easy, so we decided to stop twice. Now, to our knowledge, there are 3 possible places to stop. There's the kilometre 21, there's a little inlet in the town of Rendsburg, and there's another of those little bays with the dolphins at kilometre 85. So we decided to stop twice at the 85 kilometre mark and the 21. It's free to overnight there, it's all in the transit fee. So we went in there, into the locks. Well, we tried to go in about midday, but had to wait an hour, and so it was best part of 1:30 time we got in, and did a short motor, a couple of hours, down to the kilometre 85 and tied up there for the night. Well, today's the day we go into the canal, so we're just having the last of our morning coffee. Well, it's coming up to midday, but weather's horrible, it's rainy, it's cold, relatively cold at least, but we'll make the best of it. I say, we've been monitoring channel 12 on the VHF, which is the Kiel end of the canal channel, all morning basically. Seems to be smooth, there don't seem to be any issues there. So we'll be calling them up on the VHF when we get ready to go, which will be relatively soon. So we're waiting. They told us it will be at least an hour till we can go in there. So there's a little waiting zone out by the canal entrance, but we're just waiting on the dock because we're only 5 minutes away from the waiting zone. When they give us the go, we'll get going quickly and get ourselves out there.
is raining very hard. I don't know if that's visible.
Horrible weather.
It sure is. Yeah. Oh, really?
Well, we're here. This is our mooring for the night. It's the first stop on the Kiel Canal, and we're tied up to these dolphin things. I've got a bit of a spider's web of lines out. Looking good. One on the bow, 2 springs, 2 half lines. There might be a bit of breeze from the north tonight, so we're facing pretty much into it, which is good, I think. These look good and secure, the dolphins, so happy with those. It's quite a nice spot actually. There's lots of swans around, some grebes, cormorant over on the point over there. They're everywhere, aren't they, them things? Yeah, it's not bad. Pouring Arbor rain, mind you, but can't hear everything. Next morning we've got going again. Long motor day. Motored. You're not allowed to sail in the Kiel Canal, you have to motor. We motored through to the kilometre 21 and had a night there. Morning of day 2 in the Kiel Canal. This is our overnight mooring, and it's a glorious morning. A bit chilly. Time for some coffee and get going. Okay, so look at that. So the reason I didn't use the tiller pilot when we were sailing in the Baltic was that we did actually try it, and I had it wired the wrong way round, so it was turning to port instead of starboard, you know. So I swapped the wires over now 2 days ago, and this is our first try since then, and here it is steering us up the Kiel Canal. Doing good, eh?
Yeah.
Excellent. Now, how are we doing, Hazel?
We're doing quite well. We just passed kilometre 76.
And our destination today?
Kilometre 22.
22, so we've got 54 to go. Coming up to one of the many ferries that cross, and there is a ferry coming out. Well, it's one of those cold spring mornings, but dry and really beautiful. And it's green and lovely. And I'm loving this new propeller. We're motoring at 4 knots at just under 2,000 revs. 4 knots at under 2,000 revs. It's marvellous. That's what I wanted. So got the propeller right now. Yeah. And the third day we just motored from the 21 through to the locks at Brunsbüttel, which is the Elbe end. Now, at both ends of the locks there are waiting zones where sport boats have to wait out of the way of the shipping and you can contact the lock master on I think Baltic Sea end is channel 12 I believe, and at the Elba end is channel 13. You contact them, wait for permission to enter the locks. There's also a system of lights, but so you wait in the waiting zone out the way of the shipping, as I say. We had to wait a while at the Baltic end, but at the other end we were pretty much straight in. We waited maybe a minute or two in the waiting zone, just motoring up and down, backwards and forwards in fact, and then into the lock through and out into the River Elbe. I should say finally that the River Elbe is strongly tidal. If you need to go out and get the tide right, at maximum tide flow around Cuxhaven it's flowing a good 4 knots, and so yeah, if you don't get the tide right in a small boat you might not be going very far. A glorious morning. We set off about 10 o'clock in the morning with the goal of catching the outgoing tide in the River Elbe. We're 20 kilometres away from the lock at the end of the canal, so we should do that in 2.5 hours or so. Get through the lock and hopefully we'll catch the full outgoing tide down the Elbe. 4.5 nautical miles. Load of wind turbine blades. That's really quite beautiful actually. Other pigeons living in the mechanism. They're crazy birds, aren't they? Hey, well, it's been a bit squally. Well, at one point we actually saw 8 knots, although, as to be said, we've got a bit of current with us. But that's an incredible speed for this boat. And it's still quite blowy. The worst of the squall's over, but it's blowy.
The water is kind of unsettled as well.
The water's very unsettled, it's because it's so tidal here. We're doing well.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah. It's just gnarly. So there you go, it's about 12 hours motoring if you can do 4 knots. It's busy, there's a lot of shipping, but on the other hand all the pleasure boaters that you see give you a cheery wave on the way through there. You have to motor, you're not allowed to sail, and you can only go between the hours of sunrise and sunset, and even then only when visibility is good. So if you're unlucky enough to get some fog you have to stop again. Actually there's these enormous ship dolphin things for ships to tie to, and you're supposed to somehow, if the visibility gets bad, you're supposed to somehow get in behind them and tie to them. I've no idea how you'd do that, but I guess you'd work it out. We're through it though. We've now transited from the Baltic through to the North Sea side of things. We're down at the mouth of the River Elbe now, waiting for some good weather to get out and work our way along the German Friesen Islands and get on. That's it for this week. Thank you for watching. Massive thank you to all the lovely people who support us on Patreon, via PayPal, and hopefully we'll be moving on soon. Talk to you soon. Bye.